Greetings from Anup Kelkar's Python Academy. Welcome, friends. So today we will see some question which will ask during the data analyst role interview. So you will typically face some different kind of question. For example, when you will ask to solve SQL interview question by using Pandas and NumPy. So here we have some series of the question where we will try to solve the question which is asked in terms of pandas and numpy, but actually it will be kind of SQL type. So let's see how will we solve SQL kind of question with the use of data analytics library. Okay, so here we go on. So first we have to, before solving the question like numpy and pandas, first we have to load the library in our current file. So for that we will load the library like import numpy as np is the alias name. Okay, it is optional. Then you have to import the pandas library as in import pandas as pd. Next we have to read the file, and our file name is sales data. Okay, so you have to read the file with the help of pandas as pd.read underscore csv, and within the csv option we have to pass the file name. And whenever you create this file to the data frame df, when it will run, it will shows the all the data which is present in sales data file. Okay, so here we have 5 columns. As a first column is the sales id, which is unique. Second one is the salesperson id, again it is unique to each salesperson. Next one is the date. Okay, third column is date. Fourth column, sales amount, on which date particular salesperson has sales, how much amount, how much of product they had sold. So a person whose sales id is 101, they had sold on 10th of Jan 1000 rupees. A person whose sales id is 102, they had sales 15th February 1500. So likewise data is given to us. Okay, so our first question is we have to calculate month over month sales. Okay, so we have to calculate month over month sale in terms of percentage change. So that means we are trying to calculate how much changes can be came in the sales as compared to previous month or current month or the next month. Okay, so basically our task, we have to calculate month over month percentage. We have to change in sales amount for the entire data frame. So from the data frame we are trying to select the first column, that is date, where we have to convert that. See, in data frame date will be given in terms of dd mm yy format. Okay, so from this column we are trying to extract the only date. Okay, so for that we will write pd dot to underscore date type. So actually it is in a form of string type. So now we have to convert this value of the date column into the date time format. So for that we have to write pd dot to underscore date time. Okay, and in parenthesis, in argument of this to date time function, we have to pass the column whichever we try to convert from string to date time format. Okay, next one, once you convert the value of the column date, now we have to extract month from that column. Okay, because we have to calculate month over month percentage. Okay, that's why we are trying to extract the month from the date column. So for that we have to use select the column from where we are trying to extract the month from that column. So for that the selected column is a df of date. Now we have to convert this date value of this date column into the month format. So for that you have to use datetime format, and within the datetime you have to use toPred function. Within the toPred function we have to pass what values we want to extract from that column. Actually it is in date format. So within that date we are trying to extract only month column. Okay, so for that we had written here m. If you try to extract year, you have to specify here also. Okay, that should be assigned to the newly created column, that is a month column. Once you get the month from the data frame, now you have to personally calculate the sum over each month of the cell. Okay. So for that, initially you have to perform group by operation on selected column, that is a month. Once you perform the group by operation, now you have to calculate the sum of each month of the sales amount. So for that we have to write df of group by of month sales amount dot sum. Once you perform the sum function, it will assign the sum of sales over entire every month. Okay. Now you have to calculate how much percentage change have been came. Okay. So for that you have to specify here monthly change dot pct change into 100. Now you have to, it is given to us. If you want to find whether what is the actual value of the month change, so we have to assign this one into string format, as in data frame column month change. Okay, actually it is giving you error, like kind of. Wait for a minute. So sorry, you have to first run this cell. Some error is there, I think so. So we are getting the month column here. Suppose if our data we have where we try to calculate actual what is the month change is there. This is the file. Once we try to open it, so here we have 4 columns. So likewise we had calculate the month change. So now we move to the second problem, that is a cumulative sum by salesperson. So basically in this the task of this problem statement, you have to perform the cumulative sum of the sales for each salesperson ID over the time. So we have to perform the cumulative sum, means you have to perform the sum of each salesperson ID. So initially we have to group the data by salesperson ID and apply the cum sum, that is a cumulative sum function on sales amount. So for that we have to perform first group by function. Once you pass the group by value, within the group by you have to pass you on which column you have to perform group by. So for that we have to write here salesperson ID, and later on we have to apply cumulative sum function on specific column, that is a salesperson, sorry, that is a sales amount. Once you apply the sales amount of the selected column, now you have to perform cumulative sum function. For that we have come sum amount is also there. So you will get the cumulative sum, but that value should be assigned under the newly created column. So for that, within the data frame we have to create a column name, that is a cumulative sales. Okay, once you pass this cumulative sum, you will get the sum like this here. So 101, initially it is 1000, later on it is 2000, so that will be grouped initially, then it will 1000 plus 2000, 300. 102 sales will be 102 sales is there anywhere. So initially 1500, later on 2200, 1500 plus 2000, that is 3700. Then later on 103, initially it is a 2500, later on it is a 2700. It will sum sales amount of all the specific salesperson while performing group ID. So it will calculate the sum of 103 salesperson ID, that is a 2500, and 2700, that is a 5200. Actually it is a value. Now you have to categorize the sales into high, medium and low ranges. Okay, so basically a task is here, we have to create a new column. A new column we have to create that categorize the sales into high, medium and low, and they have three different thresholds. So low value should be considered as low sales should be considered if the sales is less than 500. Okay, medium sales should be considered if the values are lying between 15, if the values are less than, or if the values are greater than or equal to 1500, and if the value is less than 2500, then it should be assumed as a medium category. If the values of sales, if it is greater or equal to 2500, then it should be assumed as in high. So here for this purpose we have to use cut function we are using, which helps to categorize the sales into different beans. Okay, so initially first we have to create a bean, and within the bean we have to pass the specific value of the sales. So for that we will use beans is equal to 0 initially, 1500, 2500, and last value we are passing as in infinite value, that should be assumed as in decimal form. So for that we are passing the infinite value in float function. Now we have to pass the labels to all the beans. So basically we are trying to categorize the new column, that is beans, into the three different name, that is low, medium, high. Now we have to create a new column name, that is a sales category, where we have to use cut function under the pandas. It will try to make the categories of sales into the defined beans. Okay, so within the cut function we had to pass specific column of the data frame, that is for initially, that is a sales amount. Okay, afterwards we had to pass on how many separations or how many beans you want. So for that we use beans are parameter of the cut function. So for that we have to pass here beans value. Later on we have to pass the labels. We have to pass the again the same value of the labels, where we are trying to store the list of element that is low, medium and high. For that we will try to run. Infinite is not defined, they are saying. We have to pass the infinite in terms of list, sorry, string. Now we will run whether our sales category is added or not. So if you see, if you see here, I will try to minimize it so that you can visible all the uh, category. So if you see, first uh, cumulative sale of the, sorry, first sales category is low, which is based on sales amount, because it is lying in between thousands and 5 less than 15,000. Then it shows 2,000, a value which is in lying between greater than 1,500 equal or less than 2,500, that should be assumed as in medium. So it is greater than 1,500, should be medium. It should be 2,500, again it is a medium. It should be greater than 1,500, again it is a medium. It should be greater than 1,500, again it is a medium. It should be greater than 2,500, it should be assumed as in category of the sales as in high. Like as we are trying to make the sales category on based on sales amount column. Okay, so now we move to the next question, that is find the top 3 salesperson by total sales. Okay, so basically our task in this problem statement is we have to identify top 3 salesperson. Okay, which is based on their total sales. So the solution is basically we have to group the data by salesperson ID and sum the sales amount. Okay, once you calculate the sum of sales amount of each salesperson ID, then we have to use n largest function, which will try which while calling this while using this n largest person, we have to pass the value to this function, how many top records you want from the largest value from the data frame. So here we pass the value of the largest data frame as in 3. Okay, so let's see. So for that we are trying to create a new variable as in top 3 salesperson df dot group by. Here we have to pass sales person ID. Within the salesperson ID we have to use on which we have to group the, we have to find the sum of sales total. So for that we have to use sales amount, and for that you have to first calculate the sum of all the sales amount. So for that we will use sum function. Later on we have to use n largest function. We have to pass the how many records you want from the this column. So for that we will use here. But let's see whether we will get correct output or not. So here we are getting the top three records of the salesperson ID, those who had sales, whose those their sales amount is high, and we want only top three records whose sales amount is high. So the sales amount is high of for person who sells most of the sales amount is greater, that is a 103 salesperson ID. 4800 is the second most greatest sales amount, which was whose salesperson ID is 101, and the third largest sales amount is 3700, who's done this sales amount, that is a 102 salesperson ID. So like this. So I hope you will get little bit knowledge up from it. How will you use SQL function or SQL query with the help of Python and NumPy. So basically this kind of question may be asked during the interview. So you have to basically use SQL skill in terms of NumPy and Pandas. So I hope it will get a little bit addition in your skill. Okay, it will help you in interview session. So please try to solve this or try to understand this concept. Later on you will get somewhere push to clear the interview. So I hope it will add some value in your data or knowledge. So this is of today. Thank you.